Picture this with me for a second. You just turned 65. You've worked for over 40 years. You paid your taxes, you raised your kids, you showed up to jobs you didn't love, on mornings you didn't want, for decades. You did everything they told you to do, the whole deal. The full work hard and you'll be fine contract. And now, finally, it's time to retire. So you sit down with a financial advisor. Nice office. Free coffee that tastes like it's been sitting there since March. They pull up your accounts. They look at the screen. Then they look at you, with a face. You know the face. That little mix of sympathy and discomfort. Like a doctor about to tell you the biopsy came back weird. And there it is. The number. Your entire life savings. 4 decades of showing up. All of it. Summed up in one line on a screen. $88,400. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's what's supposed to carry you through the next 30 years. Let that sink in. 30 years. That's not a vacation fund. That's food, rent, the electric bill, the co-pays, the oh no, the car died again, fund, for the rest of your life. On 88 grand and a social security check that averages around $1,900 a month, so you start doing math you never ever wanted to do. Can I keep the house? Do I have to move in with my kids? And the real gut punch one, what happens when the savings just run out? Here's the part that'll really get you. I didn't make this person up. This isn't some worst-case sob story I dug up to scare you. This is the middle. This is the median. Half the people walking into retirement right now have less than $88,400 saved. A whole lot of them have nothing at all. And most of them have no idea it's coming. Until they're already in that chair, staring at that screen, watching that advisor make that face. But you're early. You're here. And that changes everything. So stick with me. I'm going to show you exactly what the average American actually retires with, why it's so much worse than the commercials would ever admit, and, this is the important part, the specific, boring, unsexy behaviors that quietly separate the people who retire comfortable from the people who retire terrified. Some of this is going to sting a little. Good. That sting is just reality tapping you on the shoulder before it's too late to do anything about it. Do me a favor before we go deeper. Hit subscribe and drop your age in the comments. Not to be nosy. I just want you to see how many people are in this exact same boat, rowing in the dark, right next to you. Trust me, this comment section's about to be a whole support group. Alright, let's talk about the number they don't put in the brochure. Every 3 years, the Federal Reserve does this big survey of what Americans actually have in the bank. Not what we post online. What's really there, and the number is rough. For households where the main earner is between 55 and 64, people in the final lap of their working life, the median retirement savings is about $134,000. Half have less than that. Then, once folks hit 65 and actually retire, that median drops to around $88,400. Because they're spending it down, the nest egg starts cracking the second the paychecks stop. Now here's the little magic trick the financial industry loves to pull. They'll tell you the average American has around $400,000 saved. Sounds a lot better, right? Except average is a liar. When a handful of rich folks at the top have millions, they yank that average way up. Like one billionaire walking into a diner, and technically making everyone in there a millionaire on average. The median, the actual person standing in the middle, has 88 grand. And the bottom half? A lot of them have basically nothing. Not a little, zero. Let me put that 88,000 into real-life terms, because a big number floating in space doesn't mean much until you spend it. There's this rule money people love. The 4% rule. Basically, so you don't run out, you only pull about 4% of your savings a year. 4% of 88 grand? Roughly $3,500 a year, which comes out to about $295 a month. $295. That's your reward for a lifetime of saving. That's barely a grocery run and a tank of gas these days. Add in the average Social Security check, around $1,900 a month, and you're living on about $2,200 a month total, $26,000 a year. To cover everything, rent, food, lights, medicine, the whole life. Now technically, that's above the poverty line. Congratulations. But it's the kind of above, where one bad MRI, one busted water heater, one transmission going out on the highway, and the whole thing tips over. That's not comfort. That's a tightrope with no net. And here's the part that really gets under my skin. The people retiring on 88 grand today actually had it easier than you're gonna have it. Wild, right? A lot of them worked back when companies handed out real pensions, guaranteed money for life. They bought houses when a house cost, a house. Not a kidney in your firstborn. They stayed at one job for 30 years. They didn't start adult life buried under student loans. All of that? Gone. Or going. Pensions got swapped out for 401(k), which is a fancy way of saying, good luck, the risk is your problem now. Homes cost a fortune. Nobody stays anywhere 30 years. And healthcare costs went absolutely feral. So if these folks, the ones with the wind at their back, still landed at 88 grand, what do you think happens to the generation walking straight into the headwind? Yeah, it gets worse. Which is exactly why we're having this conversation now, and not at your retirement party. Okay, so how does it actually go wrong? Because it's never one big dramatic mistake. It's 5 quiet ones. Number 1. Never starting. The most powerful thing in this whole game isn't how much you make. It's time. Somebody who puts away $200 a month from age 20 to 30 and then stops completely ends up with more than somebody who saves $200 a month from 40 all the way to 65. 10 years beats 25. That's not a typo. That's compounding. Quietly working overtime while you sleep. But most of us spend our 20s broke, confused, and paying off a couch. Number 2. The disappearing act in your 30s and 40s. You start saving, you're doing great, and then life shows up. Kids, a mortgage, a car. Spending grows to eat every dollar, and the retirement contributions get paused. Just temporarily, you tell yourself. That pause has a funny way of lasting 11 years. Number 3, and this one physically pains me. Cashing out your 401(k) when you switch jobs. About 40% of workers do it. You leave a job, there's 15 grand sitting in the account, and it just feels like free money. So you take it. Pay the penalty, pay the taxes, walk away with maybe 10. But that 15,000, left alone for 30 plus years, could have turned into $250,000. You didn't spend 15 grand. You spent $250,000. You just got the bill 30 years early and didn't read it. Number 4. The I'll catch up later fantasy. To hit $500,000 by 65, if you start at 25, you need about $285 a month. Start that same goal at 45? Now it's $1,200 a month. Show me the average 47-year-old who can suddenly quadruple their saving. You can't. By then the life's built. The bills are locked in. Later is the most expensive word in personal finance. And number 5, parking your money in the wrong spot. A lot of folks who do save just leave it sitting in some default account earning 2-3%, basically letting inflation nibble it to death. 2 people, same $400 a month, same 35 years. One earns 3%, ends up with about $295,000. The other earns 8%, ends up around $870,000. Same exact savings, a $500,000 difference. One just, put it in a smarter chair. Quick gut check while that lands. Drop a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the comments for whichever one just called you out personally. I've done at least 2. No judgment in here. We're all figuring it out together. Now flip it. Because if there are 5 ways to end up at 88 grand, there are 5 ways out. The comfortable retirees? They automated it. The money left the paycheck before they ever saw it, before they could get attached and turn it into takeout. They saved 15-20% instead of 5. They didn't panic sell every time the news screamed market crash. They walked into retirement without a pile of car payments and credit card balances eating their income alive. And they planned for healthcare, because a couple retiring today should brace for around $315,000 in medical costs over retirement. For somebody with 88 grand total, healthcare alone can vaporize the entire nest egg in about a decade. Now let me take all these numbers and give them a face. Because this stops being a spreadsheet the second it becomes a person. Meet Margaret, retired at 66. 92,000 saved. So, a hair above median. Social Security of $1847 a month. Widowed. So it's just her. Her math looks like this. Social Security, $1847. Pull about $300 from savings. $21.47 a month, coming in. Going out? Small apartment, plus her Medicare gap coverage, $875. Groceries, $180. Utilities and phone, $210. Car payment, $125. Insurance and gas, $95. Medications, her insurance won't fully cover, $187. And everything else in her entire life, clothes, a birthday card, a coffee, $190. Added up, $21.47. Out to the penny. She has exactly $0 of breathing room. Every single dollar is spoken for before it even lands. So when her car needed $1,100 in repairs last winter, there was no emergency fund. There was a choice. And she skipped a month of her medication to pay for it. When the fridge died, it went on a credit card she's still paying off. When her grandson graduated high school, she couldn't afford to give him anything real. And that one? That's the one that quietly breaks your heart. Margaret's not lazy. She's not reckless. She's not bad with money. She just never had anybody sit her down and explain the math while she still had time to use it. An extra $200 a month from age 30 would have handed her $350,000 instead of $92. That's not a small tweak. That's a completely different last chapter. Here's the reframe I need you to actually feel, though. Because the gap between broke and comfortable is smaller and dumber than you think. Two people. Both make $55,000 a year. Same job, same paycheck, same employer match. One saves 5%, one saves 15%. After 35 years, the 5% saver has about $470,000. The 15% saver? Over $1 million. Same salary, same life. A $600,000 difference. And that extra 10% of income works out to roughly $15 a day. $15. That's a sad desk salad. That's a lunch you didn't even enjoy. The difference between a retirement that breathes and a retirement that suffocates is basically one lunch a day you decided to keep. That's the whole game, sitting right there in the checkout line. Nobody sees it as a retirement decision, but it always was. So now you know the number. 88,400, and I can already feel two different people watching this right now. Person number 1 just felt a little fire light up. Good. Use it. Person number 2 just went, well, if half the country's broke, then what's the point? Might as well grab the coffee and enjoy the ride. And I get it, I do. But that second reaction? That's the trap. That's the exact thinking that builds the 88 grand. Because here's the thing, nobody says out loud. The median outcome isn't some curse. It's not bad luck. It's just median behavior. Behavior getting exactly what it ordered. Look at the folks at the top. The ones who retire with $500,000, $1 million, more. You want to know their big secret? It's boring. They didn't make 5 times what you make. Most of them made a totally normal paycheck. They just did the boring stuff, on purpose, for a long time. Consistency, priority, time. That's the whole recipe. And the beautiful, annoying part? All 3 of those are still sitting right there on the shelf, available to anybody who isn't retired yet, including you. Nobody chooses 88,000. Nobody sits down and goes, yeah, precarious and terrified. That's the retirement for me. What they choose is the coffee bought instead of made, the car upgraded instead of just maintained, the contribution paused, just this once, the money left sitting in the wrong account, doing nothing, for 30 years. Each little choice feels totally reasonable in the moment. That's the whole scam. Death by 1,000 reasonable decisions, and you don't feel any of them. You just feel the total, at 65, in that chair, when the advisor makes the face. So let me leave you with the only sentence from this whole video I actually need you to keep. You cannot accidentally save your way to a comfortable retirement. It has never once happened. 88 grand is the price tag on doing what everybody else does. It's the cost of default. And default is a choice too. It's just the one you make by not choosing. So don't hand me a New Year's resolution. Don't tell me someday. Someday isn't on the calendar. Do one thing this week. Bump your contribution 1%. Move that lazy money into something that actually grows. Open the account you've been getting around to for 2 years. 1%. This week. That's it. Because 30 years from now, there are 2 versions of you. One's on the tightrope, doing grocery math in the medication aisle. The other one's just fine. Boring, quiet, fine. And the only thing standing between those two people is what you do tomorrow, and every ordinary day after it. 88,400 is the cost of default. Your future is whatever you decide to do about that, starting tomorrow morning. So tell me in the comments, what's the 1% move you're making this week? Say it out loud, right here, where I can see it. Because a plan you type into a comment is a plan you're a whole lot more likely to actually keep. Subscribe, so future you has somebody in their corner. And I'll see you in the next one.